We have a question from a baby center parent about overnight crying, which I know can be particularly stressful. Their question is, my baby is waking up around 1 a.m. to feed, but typically spits it all up. This continues several times until his 5 a.m. feeding. Is there anything I should be doing differently to soothe him?
Absolutely. I know nighttime waking is one of the most stressful things that parents experience. I know even me just going to work after being up all night with my babies was super, super stressful. What we kind of gently remind parents of for nighttime waking is, are you burping the baby enough? And what's happening a lot of times is you're tired. Babies are tired and parents are tired. And so you're more likely to kind of rush that feed or not spend as much time really persistently burping the baby because you're just anxious to get back to bed. And so it's really important that you're taking your time, even as tired as you are, and spending that extra 5 or 10 or 15 minutes really burping the baby, because that gas bubble is either going to come out up top or it's going to come out from the bottom. And the best way to do it is to get it out up top so that you're not dealing with it trying to get out from the bottom. So burp, 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 spend your time keeping your baby upright after that feed and then gently putting them down. That generally does help with just like nighttime spitting up.
I
So
love that. Yeah, it always happens when as soon as you lay back in bed, you hear the cry. So,
yes,
um,
for
is it
sure.
also possible that he's overfeeding in this situation?
Yeah, that's a great point. So overfeeding is generally something, and definitely something, that we see a lot at nighttime. And the reason being for that is, babies are tired too. So they're sleepy and they're cozy with mom or dad and being fed and they're comforted. And so they may not, all their feeding cues and their fullness cues may not be in full effect in the middle of the night. And so they may not actually stop feeding, and they may actually get that extra ounce or two just because frankly they're comfortable and they're happy and they forget or they fall asleep. So what we tell parents in that situation is, yeah, you want to make sure to do kind of smaller volumes, because a lot of times parents will think, oh, the more feeding, the better. That'll get them really, really full. And then they'll sleep these long stretches. Well, guess what? Then they've just swallowed more air and they've been overfed, and then they're just working through the feeds. So smaller volumes when it comes to middle of the night feeds, generally lots of burping like we've talked about. And then I think it is important to think about an anti-colic bottle in that situation too. Not only does the MAM bottle, which I love the anti-colic bottle, tend to help with the transition from maternal breast to bottle and back, but it also allows for just the decreased transfer of gas to the baby so that they're not dealing with those big gas bubbles and working through them all night. They're just less likely to swallow air. And so they tend to just be less gassy and less fussy. And you're dealing with less kind of nighttime fussiness and nighttime waking and overfeeding at night too.
I love that tip about the bottle. You can also see how much they're getting. So that could also be helpful in making sure they're not overfeeding if you're kind of aware of how much they should be getting during the night. Is there anything else, Dr. Neela, that you want to share with our baby center audience before we go?
What I tell moms and dads in this situation is you're going to get a lot of information from a lot of places. And I think it's really important to trust your maternal or paternal instinct. That being said, you do want to choose companies like MAM that are creating products that are taking your baby's health and safety into consideration and want to support that. Because like I said, the happier that your baby is and the more safe your baby is and the more that you can relax and the more that you enjoy the process, the better it is for everybody.
You can check out Man Baby at Amazon, Walmart, and Target.